round of applause for all our speakers on stage. Thank you so much for sparing the time to come here and share your insights with the audience on cloud and digital transformation.
See, the theme of this panel is, if I have to take, there are three components. One is cloud, second is AI, and third is digital transformation. So broadly, if you have to look at it, that cloud and AI, they are the two main vehicles of the digital transformation now. If you had asked me the same question 3 years back, probably answer may not have been so, emphatic. But now it is all the more because of the way consumers are behaving, the way channels are behaving, the way data is getting created, and there's tons of data. Last 3-4 years, the amount of data is generated is humongous. So what are you going to do with the data? And you need only two things, right? You need an infrastructure which can basically manage on-demand situation, infrastructure which is secure, infrastructure which has a lot of inbuilt facilities.
Let me talk of the industry. What I've seen from a CIO's perspective, and having been in those days, now I'm revealing my age, but from the days when a CIO was supposed to be support staff for the CEO and the senior leadership team, today the CIO is absolutely central, absolutely in a center stage. In fact, product designs, etc. So if you typically go from ideation to prototyping to execution and then improvements and so on and so forth, right across, other than maybe the ideation piece which the business is creating or the founder of small startups, etc. are creating, prototyping is where probably AI has impacted the most.
But one of the key problems that we wanted to solve was that our customers needed a consistent experience, and and personalization was our USP. So personalization and consistent, they generally don't go hand in hand. If you have to personalize something, you might personalize it today in a specific way, but having a consistent experience over and over years is difficult. So we took this as an opportunity and we said that, we will do personalization at scale.
So it's like in the traditional setup, you had your own data centers, you had your own racks, you had your own machines. It was always a kind of belief that it's right there in my in front of my eyes. But where is it in the cloud? We have lack of control, we have lack of understanding. There are papers available, there are audit trails available, there are so many literature available, but still that's as a human tendency that comes to our mind that how do I control something which I don't own per se. Again, data protection and privacy related aspects, of course, the paradigm is ever changing. Security is always a moving goalpost. Today there is one compliance, tomorrow there is another compliance. So managing those multiple compliances in an environment which I perceive as not in my control, how do I manage those compliances? And the data protection perspective.
Recording data has taken has gone through that curve and gone through that technology transformation. And we have gone into that visualization phase as well. The next phase, what I believe in the immediate short term, which will be aided by AI, is how do we really handle the unstructured data that exists?
When IT software is increasing the efficiency of some of the things, then only allocation of budget will come into for security. It doesn't mean that in the last 3-4 years, the mindset has changed, government has put on more regulations. The whole thought process is changing, but it will take some time unless and until it is governed by BFSI. If you see, you spend more.
Containerization and orchestration is extremely important for cloud native applications, especially if you look at oil and gas and energy industry. It's typically been a slight laggard when it comes to digital transformation and artificial intelligence, which is now rapidly changing. But for applications of humongous amounts of data, which deal with humongous amounts of data with a large scale, you definitely need the power of cloud when the loads are unpredictable, when the security concerns are there, and especially when you don't know how much processing you need right at the beginning when you're dealing with a lot of unknowns. So cloud native, orchestration, and certainly containerization bring in a lot of merits. We have, when we work on brownfield projects, which is that initial part of the project is done by another contractor and we get involved a little later in the stage. Typically what we get is engineering drawings in PDFs, scanned copies. We get lots of laser scans. So all that data is not very easy to interpret. But with AI containers and to some extent Azure AI services also, we are heavily on Azure. So there is a possibility of using pre-trained models. So that reduces the complexity. You don't have to build everything from scratch. You can use pre-trained models and fine-tune them to your needs.
So have some pre-trained models is one of the best practices.
Correct.
Okay.
So you have to identify exactly what your use case is, and accordingly you have to identify what the pre-trained
It's
models
kind of
should be.
like building a library in software development life cycle. If you have a library of, let's say, just like Angular and other libraries,
correct.
so you use whatever is already built and then you build on top of that.
I think
so you follow that.
I think we're using some excellent analogies today. Lunchbox, library, those are some very good analogies, and it's very relevant to exactly what we're talking about.
Also worked with the startup, so we were creating a lot of AI modeling there. So definitely at that time we had a good amount of investment, so that's where we were able to manage that thing. But on a coming back to your questions, we can do it. So there are various SaaS providers which give you, it's like they'll give you GPU on rent or GPU on lease for your POCs and all. So there are many providers which give you, because if you're not aware about your AI modeling, what kind of output it will generate, it's better to go with the lease thing so that you do your POC on those kind of platforms, and when you are sure that this will be successful and whether it will generate some ROI for the business, then go for the either investment or do your thing, then you can add on your GPUs. So, but there are a lot of platforms.
There are ways to optimize. One of them is to look at SaaS providers who will give you a GPU and rent, and वो POC करो, kind of add limit लगा के रखो.
Yes. So they give you all limits and all. So they add all the policies and all based on the use case. They will suggest you what kind of limits you want to have in each of the areas. So that's where they will also help you in creating those things. That's where you can manage that cost.
The unstructured data, that's very essential for generative AI to produce meaningful and usable results, because unstructured data gives context to the structured data. Now, when you combine or when you feed the AI both the structured and the unstructured data, you get more accurate and actionable insight that you can trust, right? And this is very relevant to your businesses as well. But for many businesses, these kind of results are still out of reach. Generative AI is at a new inflection point for businesses, and leaders today know that they need to figure out their strategy to stay competitive. However, it's tough to strike a balance between the urgency to embrace generative AI and the risk that it comes with. The sales rep can get historical context of a customer. Again, summarizing what has happened previously on a specific channel. So you have account channel, we have account channel wherein we have conversations specific to a customer. In fact, we have a partner channel wherein if you want to connect to a partner, we have that conversation in that specific channel. So getting an understanding of what has happened either in a sales channel or a partner channel becomes really easy for a sales rep. Second, getting answers using Slack AI also becomes really easy for the team. In fact, they can use Slack AI to learn about project, use cases, deals win that happened very easily from the search in Slack. Slack AI can also help sales team to find internal subject matter expert who can help move a deal very quickly. And if you want to, quickly catch up on what's happening, most of the sales team are on mobile, right? They are with customers. They can use Slack AI on mobile as well to get a summary and to do a lot of activities that I've spoken about. With Slack, you are essentially leaping to the front of AI-powered work revolution and building a brighter future for your organization. And the most important of all, you can get started today. Slack AI is GA already. And what better advocate can we have than OpenAI, the organization that provides the impetus to the generative AI journey with ChatGPT. OpenAI has been leveraging Slack to streamline their work and bring in efficiency.
So generative AI is that technology that will transform the world. There is no maybe here, and I'm a person who's standing here and saying 2 years, 3 years down the line, the world will be a different place because of generative AI. It is a foundational technology like the internet and the computer. There will be many applications of generative AI not known yet, but they will come to fore over the next few years. What is generative AI? You can search Google for its definition. This is my definition. I kept it very simple. It's simply the machine's ability to create, understand and analyze unstructured data like language, audio, video, music and design, including software code as well. Right? Create, understand and analyze language, create, understand and analyze software code, create, understand and analyze audio, video, music or design. And the best way to understand the difference between classic AI and generative AI. Classic AI, today we were speaking about predictive models. We have a gentleman sitting here who did predictive models at a time when there were no computers. He did it on paper. Can you please tell us your name, sir? R.P. Singh did it in 1981 on paper, where he predicted the number of magazines to be printed by the publisher. If he predicted more than was necessary, there will be unsold copies. So that is where classic AI is used. Now there are very complicated and sophisticated algorithms, computer-based, that can do it, but generative AI generate language, code, image, content. It is on structured data, this is on unstructured data. And the best way to understand, the computer had a right brain. You see all those statistics, trigonometry, calculus, algorithms, analytics, right? That's the left brain. But now the computer has a right brain. It can understand colors, images, languages, music. And that is the distinction, right? Generative AI, classic AI, is largely predictable. If you train a model and if you give it the same set of input, it will always give you the same output. Unless you change the training and you change the model. First, know that it is a combination of human and AI that is going to make the impact. AI alone cannot do it. Going forward, humans alone will not be able to do it. Everybody is going to have the same AI. Everybody is going to have ChatGPT. So how will you distinguish yourself in the market? By yourself. I have used a generative AI tool called Descript to be able to make this video. I'm not a marketer. I'm not a video maker. But I've done this myself. I made this video in a day. I did all of that marketing piece in two hours. So this is humans plus AI are going to make an impact. And the last one is, it is not humans versus AI as the world will make you believe. Okay? It's not human versus AI. It is humans with AI versus humans without AI. It will be businesses with AI versus businesses without AI. That's my answer. Thank you.